Hey, 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 you guys. Great morning, great morning, great morning. Come in, come on in. While you guys are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and share. Come on in. Let me share. Share, share. All right, all right. Hey, you guys, let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you are tuning in from. There is a word from the Lord today. When I tell you that the Spirit of God has been moving in an accelerated fashion, you all listen. This is not a game. This is not a joke. God is not playing. This is the season where you want to be ever so careful to do what it is that God says do. You want to be ever so careful to make sure that you are in alignment with what God is doing in your life. And do not be afraid. Fear not. This is what I hear God saying consistently. Fear not, fear not, fear not. He will not make you ashamed. He will not make you ashamed. You all, as we have been on this journey from leading up to Passover and the resurrection of Christ on in, right past it, like headed towards Pentecost, the enemy of your soul has sought to discourage you and make you feel like it's not going to happen for you. It's not going to happen for you. But the devil is a lie. Hey, Kim. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's going to happen for you. Last Sunday I preached a word, and it talked about how God is not going to allow you to be made ashamed. I think it was last Sunday. Listen, it's been running together. God been giving me such good stuff, such good juicy stuff that I have, like, it's running together. Like, I can't remember when I talked about it. All I know is that's what he showed me, and that's what I talked about. Hey, Mark Winter. Hey, girl, how you doing? So you need to understand. Hey, sissy. Good to see you. You need to understand that this is a season of accelerated harvest. Accelerated harvest. I'm going to give you an example. This is a season where you sow a seed and within 2 to 3 days you see a result, right? This is a season where you sow a seed and the same day you see a result. This is the season where you think a thing, desire a thing, and the same day it shows up, or in a few days it shows up. Listen, it doesn't matter, y'all, what the enemy is trying to make it look like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's happening around you. It doesn't matter if it doesn't happen the way you thought it was going to happen, with who you thought it was going to happen with. It doesn't matter. Literally, God is giving you an accelerated harvest, a harvest that people cannot control. You can't even control the harvest, in the sense that when you do what God tells you to do, that it produces, it's going to produce. And some of you are getting ready to see an accelerated harvest on seeds sown in previous seasons. And this is why this is so important. When you're in a season of accelerated harvest, you have to sow intentionally, sow with intentionality. You've got to know, what is it I'm sowing for, and what is it that I desire. You've got to put expectation on your seed. And for many people, you just don't think about it like that. You sow a seed like I'm just gonna sow a seed. Nah, listen, y'all. You better sow with intentionality, so expecting something, so knowing what you expect, and watch God give you that. I've been wanting this. This sounds so crazy, so petty, and so little, right? I've been wanting liver and onions. Been wanting liver and onions, been wanting liver and onions, been wanting liver and onions. Well, literally on a day that I needed it, I got my liver and onions, right? See, you're busy trying to dictate to God when things happen, but God knows exactly when to allow things to happen, when to allow you to be seen, when to bring the harvest forward, when you can handle harvesting what it is that he has for you. Stop being so intent on being in control of how things happen, where they show up, who they show up with, that you don't allow God to lead, God, and direct. Because I promise you, what God is going to do is God is going to give you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it, exactly the way you need it. He's going to remind you of who you are. He's going to remind you of his promises. He's going to remind you that he is not a man that he should lie. He's going to remind you of those things. And as you step into his promises, as you stand upon his promises and you make them your sure foundation, watch what God does in your life. All I can tell you is what he's doing in mine. All I can tell you is what I see. All I can tell you is that God is very intentional in what he's doing. So if something comes to you, if you go through something, you need to understand it has purpose. It has purpose. You need to understand that what you're going through has purpose. And then you need to intentionally work your way out. Intentionally work your way out. How do I do this, Dr. V? Listen, what I've discovered is in my seasons where I needed financial breakthrough, those were the seasons that God challenged me to sow in. He told me, okay, sow. And I'm like, wait. And then it would be crazy stuff, right? Like I remember one time, listen, y'all, God has just had me do some crazy stuff, but it always worked out for my good. I didn't always understand it. I didn't always get it, but it always worked out for my good because there was something God was doing. See, you trying to understand what God is doing, and we don't always get it. We don't always understand. We don't always like it. And it doesn't always feel good. But I'm telling you, you're in a season of accelerated harvest. This season right here is the season where if you ever wanted to sow, this is the season to sow. If you ever wanted to go all in, this is the season to go all in because accelerated harvest, baby, blows your mind. It literally blows your mind with what God does. And it's never about the person, right? It's never about the person. It's never about the organization. It's about your intentionality with God. You believe in God. Now it's about the person and the organization to the extent that you got to make sure you're sowing in good soil, right? So that the seed doesn't fall flat, right? But when you understand what God is doing, when you understand what God is doing, you sow differently. When you understand what God is doing, you listen to him differently, you move differently. This is a season where God is giving us an accelerated harvest. Accelerated. You know what? Hold on, let me look that up for you. I'm gonna tell y'all what accelerated means because I want you to understand what God is doing. This is not an accident. This is intention. Accelerated. All right. Accelerated, occurring or developing at a faster rate than usual. Occurring or developing at a faster rate than usual, designed to be completed in a shorter length of time than usual. In other words, what God is going to do is he's going to do things at a faster rate than usual. He's going to do things in a shorter length of time than usual. Oh, God is giving an accelerated harvest. It's not just a harvest, it's an accelerated harvest. So when you understand accelerated, you know that it's going to move faster. It's going to happen faster. Listen, now I'm telling y'all what the enemy is going to want you to do. Listen to me. I need y'all to hear me, and I need y'all to hear me clearly. I'm going to tell you the strategies of the enemy so that you can identify them. Y'all, he's going to tell you that this is a time to slow down. He's going to tell you that this is a time to stop. He's going to tell you that this is a time when you need to be much more calculated. You need to put much more thought into it. I'm telling y'all that that is a trick of the enemy. And if you fall for it, that's on you. But that's a trick of the enemy. We're in a season of accelerated harvest. We're in a season of accelerated movement. We're in a season where God is moving outside of the realm of time, but in time. You understand? He's moving outside of the realm of time. In other words, what used to take a longer period of time will happen in a much shorter period of time. You all know I've been saying this. I've been saying this. This is not new. I've been saying this. God is shortening the length of time that it takes for things to happen. And you've got to move in an accelerated fashion. You can't move regular. You can't move regular and miss him. Move regular and miss him. But you can't move regular in this season. This is an accelerated season, which means that you've got to have accelerated movement and you'll get accelerated results. You've got to have accelerated movement and you'll get accelerated results. God is doing something supernatural in order to shift you out of your norm. Some of you are stuck in your norm. You're stuck in your norm, what you used to. This is not that season. This is not that season. This is the season where everything is being shaken up. so that God can get you to where he wants you to be, so that God can get you what he desires for you to have, so that God can get you what you say you desire, right? But you're going to have to move in an accelerated fashion. For some of you, that means a business. There's a business idea that God has given you, and you have not acted on the business idea because you said, I don't have this and I don't have that. So you haven't done anything. No, this is the time where you go ahead, you get your business name. You go ahead, you set the business structure up. You go ahead, you get the business banking account. You go ahead and you do those things, right? Because what you do is you show God you have the capacity to handle what he's sending you. See, when you do that, you show God you have the capacity to handle what he's sending you. See, when you have the capacity to handle what he sent you, he knows he can send it to you in accelerated fashion. See, if you ain't set up for it, if you ain't ready for it, if you ain't prepared for it, what you going to do with it when it comes? You've got to position yourself to receive the accelerated results that God is sending. This is time for an accelerated harvest. I'm talking about it's accelerated. In other words, you'll sow a seed and you'll get something immediately. And then check this out. Today is uh listen, see, this is how God works. This is Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo is the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead. Hold on a second. Hold on. Because I want y'all to understand what's going on, what God is doing. Not the Day of the Dead. This is when they celebrate the victory over it's a Mexican celebration. It's a celebration of the victory that was given over France when Mexico defeated France, right? So check this out. Check this out. I need y'all to understand something. God wants to celebrate your victory. God wants to give you victory. See, everything that God is doing is so that the world can see who he is through you, through your life, through what you're doing. Now, while people all over the world will be drinking margaritas because it's Cinco de Mayo, I need you to understand that this is a season of celebration. God is trying to give you an accelerated harvest. God is moving to give you victory over the enemy, victory over the things that have defeated you in the past, victory over fear, victory over resistance. He's seeking to give you victory. God wants to give you victory this Cinco de Mayo, right? He wants to give you victory. That victory is designed to show the world that he is God by himself. He is God and he has everything in control. Yeah, it is the Day of the Dead. Oh, no. That's November 1st and 2nd, but people say that it's the Day of the Dead. Okay, all right. I was like, wait a minute. So look, God is awakening, awakening the victor in you, the warrior in you. But this victory is going to come differently. Look, I need y'all to understand this victory is not going to require you to fight physically. This victory is not going to require you to put hands on it. This victory is not going to require that. This is a different kind of victory. God desires to give you the breakthrough that you desire. God desires to give you the victory that you desire. God desires to give you the harvest that you desire, but it requires seed sown to reap harvest. Some of you, and I said this last night, you're going to be reaping the seed you sow now is going to bring harvest from past seasons, past seed. Like literally, God is going to move things from the past into the present. Literally, move harvest from the past into the present. Move harvest from the future into the present. He's pulling from both directions in order to give you not only an accelerated harvest, a rapid harvest, but a harvest that supersedes what you normally could contain. Think about it like this. Um, um, remember when Peter had they had been out on the boat and they came in, they put their nets up because they didn't catch anything. And Jesus was standing there and he said, have y'all been fishing? They were like, yeah, we already went out. We didn't catch anything. And he said, go out into the deep and cast your net on the other side. You know, I already been out there, I ain't getting none. He said, cast your net on the other side. Go out into the deep and cast your net on the other side. Some of you have been staying in shallow water. Let me rephrase that. Some of us have been staying in shallow water, and God is saying, I need you to go deeper. I need you to go out into the deep. I'm not talking about that little surface seed that you sow. I'm talking about go out into the deep. I'm not talking about the little surface dreams, things, the things that you tell people that you know that you can achieve on your own. I'm talking about the things that God has given you a desire to do that you're afraid to tell anybody because you feel like they're going to look at you like you're crazy. Listen, no, this is the season to go deep. This is the season to go out into the deep. And I know you may have cast your net on one side and you didn't get anything, but it's time to cast your net on the other side. Cast on the other side. Cast it on the other side. Now, check this out. When you understand that you're casting your net on the other side, then you can understand that the harvest that comes, you're going to need another boat to come alongside you. Translation, you're going to need someone else to come alongside you because they're going to be needed to help you to accomplish what it is that you desire to accomplish. Go out into the deep, cast your net on the other side. Stop being afraid to say what it is that God is showing you. Listen, you don't want people to judge you. You don't want people to look at you and feel some type of way. Y'all, listen, you got to stop caring what people feel. This is the thing that I've had to do lately, especially, right? Because God has really been on me about this seed time and harvest and how significant this time is for sowing, right? Because this is a time where people are going to get an accelerated harvest. So, like, literally, I have had to argue with myself, right? I'm like, I don't want. God said, listen, if you cause these people to miss the blessings that I have for them because of your disobedience, I'm going to hold you responsible. Oh, no. He said, you're going to be the co-signer to their defeat. You're going to be the co-signer to them not walking in an accelerated victory. You're going to be the co-signer. And if you know anything about co-signing, you know that when the person that is responsible for the debt does not pay the debt, the co-signer is responsible for it. Come on, y'all. Listen, I'm not co-signing that. I'm not co-signing that. You all listen, if you want the breakthrough that you say you want, if you want the breakthrough that you desire, there's some things that you need to do in this season. You need to put seed in the ground. You need to put seed in the ground, in good ground, and then you need to have intention attached to the seed. You need to put seed in the ground and have intention attached to the seed. You need to go out into the deep. You need to cast your net on the other side and know that God has a plan to accelerate what he's going to do in your life. And listen, it don't matter who don't believe. All that matters is that you believe. It doesn't matter who doesn't believe. All that matters is that you believe. And when you believe, God can show up on your behalf. He don't need other people to co-sign for him. God don't need a co-signer. That's what he don't need. God don't need a co-signer. He does not. So understand that God is literally doing something supernatural right now, and he desires for you to benefit from it. That's his heart's desire. I'm going to tell y'all something because I want y'all to understand the depth of this. I want y'all to understand the depth of this. Listen, literally, God has been moving so quickly in my life that I'm like, whoa, God, whoa, God, whoa. Whoa, God, whoa, God, whoa. And then I had to stop. Let me look. No, 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 no. Go, God, go, God, go. Go, God, go, God, go. You've got to be in a mindset where you allow God to take you at the pace that he desires to take you at, not the pace that you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with that pace is not the pace. If you're comfortable with it, it's not the pace. God is moving you in an accelerated fashion because he needs accelerated results because time is shortening. So therefore, God is doing what? Compressing time. He's compressing time. He's just compressing it. So don't freak out about it. I've taught in a number of formats, right? I taught in a semester format, which is anywhere from 13 to 15 weeks. I've taught in an intense format, which may be like 8 weeks. I've taught in an accelerated format, which is 4 to 5 weeks. Which one do I get the greatest results from my students? The 4 to 5 week accelerated programs. Why? Because they have a concentrated period of time to focus on one class. Did y'all hear what I said? They have a concentrated period of time to focus on one class. God is giving you a concentrated period of time to focus on a result that he desires to give you, baby. And he's getting ready to do it outside of time, in time, and from the past and the future to the present. He's pulling it together. So when you understand that, you'll move differently. When you understand that, you'll think differently. When you understand that, you will allow God to move the way that he desires to move and the timing that he desires to move. You don't control God's time. You don't. Period. I don't control God's time, period. God's time is God's time because God's time is the time that he needs things to happen in. Outside of that, you on your own. You're on your own. You're doing it in your own. And you're going to find yourself getting results that are not the results that you desire because you're not moving in God's time. When God opens a door for you, you have a window of time to walk through. When God opens a door for you, you have a window of time to walk through. And that window is the window. That's it. Outside of that, you got to wait for the door to come back around. You got to wait for the door to open again. Listen, everything is not promised. There are people right now who God gave them an assignment. They didn't take the assignment, and then someone else did the assignment. Come on. They thought they had plenty of time and they died before they could do it. Come on. You all got to get a sense of urgency. And in your sense of urgency, you will understand that God is doing something. So this is a season for accelerated results. It's time for you to go out into the deep and cast your net on the other side. It's time for you to operate in God's timing, not yours. If it's normal, it ain't God, because God is not normal. Okay. If it's normal, it's not God. You need to understand this because some of you are tricking yourselves. You're tricking yourselves into believing that, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. No. You've been doing it. Whatever results you've been getting doing what you've been doing is the results you're going to continue to get. If you want something different, you do something different. And as you do something different, you'll watch God. You'll see God move in a supernatural way. I'm excited about what God is doing in my life. I am exhilarated about what God is doing in my life. And I know that what God is doing in this season of time is accelerated. Everything he's doing in my life is accelerated. It's accelerated. And I'm excited about the acceleration. Listen, if this ministry has blessed you, and I know it has, right? You need to put a seed in the ground. Put a seed in the ground. Go out into the deep, cast your net on the other side, put intention with your seed, and watch what God does. In order to do that, you can cash out $DRV Walters, $DRV Walters, or PayPal.me/DRV Walters, and watch what God does. If I be a prophet of the Most High, that's what they say. If I be a prophet of the Most High, I know I'm a prophet of the Most High, and I know what God is showing me, and I know this is your season for accelerated harvest. Let's get it. I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Be blessed. Mwah.